Some good marriage tips for newlyweds can be helpful for the couples to establish a healthy and sustainable marital relationship. This article contains a number of valuable marriage advice for them. Read on. There is a misconception that newlyweds do not face any kind of marital problems, though the fact is that it is far from the truth. Like any other married couples, they too have their share of disagreements, arguments and fights. Many married couples believes that it was the first 2 years of their marriage that they found the most difficult to handle. However, if a couple decides to deal with certain issues at the beginning, then it will be a lot more easier for them to have a satisfying married life in future. Tips for newly married couples. Our wedding traditions involve lots of fun, frolic, romance, beautiful dresses, decorations, and you feel like you are living a dream. After marriage, when the reality sets in, you realize that the actual scenario is not as rosy as you had imagined. Here are a few tips for a healthy married life that should be followed by you and your partner together. Change your attitude. Before marriage, you used to think about your happiness and comfort as an individual. Marriage is an entity where it is important for you to take care of your partner's needs and wants as well. When you are married, you have to start thinking in terms of a team. At times, you may have to make sacrifices for the well-being of your spouse. Never mind, even your spouse is also going to make a number of sacrifices for your sake. Have patience. Petty annoyances are bound to give rise to some conflicts. Accept this reality and try to sort it out with a bit of patience. While addressing any such problem, make sure you do not end up making personal attack against your spouse. Most importantly, screaming and yelling at him/her is not going to help. Rather, it can provoke more bitter feelings in your partner's mind. Keep the romance alive. This is very important because lack of romance and sexual intimacy often have an adverse effect on the marriage. Many newlyweds believe that romance dies after marriage as they start taking each other for granted. However, this is not true. Romance gets a completely new meaning in married life. It is not confined to nice gifts, flowers and candlelit dinners anymore. Now, the focus is more on caring each other, appreciating each other and sharing the joys of your life with your partner. All these things will keep the freshness of your marriage intact. Communicate with each other. There is nothing wrong if there are issues where you and your partner do not agree with each other. However, if you do not resolve them, then it can snowball into much bigger ones in the long run. Have an open discussion with your partner and tell him or her about your feelings and thoughts. This can solve half the problem. Communication does not mean that you will talk and the other person will listen. Make sure you give chance to your partner to express his or her viewpoint as well. In other words, you should be a good listener too. This way you will get to know about your spouse's expectations. Manage the finances. The root cause of many of the marital problems is money. Therefore, from the very start, you should make efforts to manage the financial matters together. Initially, there could be some financial difficulties due to huge expenses in the wedding and honeymoon. You can successfully deal with this problem by proper planning of your monthly budget. It may sound a bit difficult, but when you will find that you can save some money with this kind of planning, I am sure none of you are going to complain. These marriage tips for newlyweds can strengthen the bond between the husband and the wife. Finally, I would like to say that with right kind of approach towards the new changes in life and investing some time for knowing each other, you can make this phase of your life memorable and very much enjoyable.